So today I thought it'd be an interesting idea to kind of speculate when we could expect to be seeing DLC 3 and much more importantly, the return of the Aether storyline. And honestly, I've never really made a video speculating on a DLC that we know almost nothing about, honestly, but I mean, I'm just so excited for it because, I mean, exactly what I said a while ago, it's the return of the Aether storyline, and honestly, it feels like it's been forever since we've had anything Aether storyline related when it's something that I'm just so passionate about and we just haven't seen anything about it for so long when we were expecting seeing it this time around. But whatever, not to hate on the Chaos storyline, that is, of course, but my gosh, it's been a while since we've had the Aether storyline. I just cannot wait. But regardless, of course, we're going to be speculating on the date, but we're not going to be doing random speculation, obviously, or I wouldn't be making this video. But of course, we do have past information that'll help us figure out when we could expect to be seeing our next DLC, and of course we're going to be using information from Black Ops 4 and even games before that, but of course mainly Black Ops 4. But of course, with all that said, let's actually look at, I guess, our best piece of evidence for where we can figure out when this map is actually going to be coming out. So as we know, there's a new thing in Black Ops 4 called Operation. They're just events, so they're really not new, but they're kind of new, I don't know. But regardless, as we know, alongside these operations, we do get our zombies maps. And at first, when we got Operation Absolute Zero, on the first day of Operation Absolute Zero, we got Dead of the Night. But they kind of changed when we got Operation Grand Heist. Ancient Evil didn't drop alongside Grand Heist. It dropped a few weeks after. So it's kind of not very helpful with the operations, but at the same time, we do know during operations, we can expect to see a DLC maps, but not all operations have a DLC zombies map, and the reason we know this is because of the current operation we are in, Operation Spectre Rising. We already know for a fact there's not going to be a zombies map coming out during this operation, and this kind of sounded like a problem at first because in the past, operations have lasted 72 days, and if we're not going to get a zombies map in the next 72 days, it's going to be a really long wait, and it would be just ridiculous. But luckily, this operation that isn't going to have a zombies map is going to only last 34 days. And since this operation started on April 30th, it means if you just add 34 days to that, it means that this operation is going to end June 3rd, meaning the next operation, which we already know is going to be Days of Summer, is going to start on June 4th. And looking back at the past, we know with Operation Absolute Zero on the very first day, we did get Dead of the Night, so this means there is a possibility that we could be seeing DLC 3 launch on June 4th alongside Days of Summer. But of course, like I said, that's not always the case, especially with Ancient Evil, which we know came out during Operation Grand Heist, but it wasn't the first day, so it could be coming out somewhere along Days of Summer, but not on the launch day of it, like we saw with Ancient Evil. And because of this, we know that we can't exactly trust that it's going to be coming out on the 4th or sometimes during it, so I decided to try to figure out a day maybe we could trust a little bit more than maybe the start of Days of Summer. So what I actually did, and this is something I've done in the past, I already had this ready, was that I looked back at all of the other DLC launches, at least a lot of them during Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare, and figured out the average time that it takes between the DLCs for a map to come out. And what I found is that DLCs drop 73 days apart on average. So if we look at the launch of Ancient Evil, which is March 26th, and add 73 days to it, and then of course round it up or round down to the closest Tuesday. If you're wondering why I always round it up to the closest Tuesday, it's just because Tuesday is when they release their zombies maps inside Black Ops 4. We know that for sure. They haven't released any other major update during any other day. It used to be Tuesday and Thursday, but now it's only Tuesday inside Black Ops 4. That means that we're rather going to get the DLC on rather June 4th, which is a date, of course, that we know before from Days of Summer starting on June 4th, or of course, if you round up, it would actually be on June 11th. So that's another date to add there, but of course, there's still even a caveat to this. this because the thing is that even though the average is 73 days, that's not what we got inside Black Ops 4, because the difference in days between Dead of the Night and Ancient Evil's launch was actually not 73 days. It wasn't even 80 days. It was 98 days. So if we add 98 days to March 26th, of course, when Ancient Evil came out, and then of course round it up or down to the closest Tuesday, that would mean that we'd probably get the map on rather June 25th or July 2nd. Now, of course, this gives us a lot of different dates to play with. We have a possibility of June 4th, which of course is alongside Days of Summer and also is in line with the average of 73 days between DLCs, but of course that's not the average for Black Ops 4. And of course there's also the other average, if you actually use that average to get to June 11th. And then of course we have the other dates of July 2nd and June 25th, which is going to be more in line with what we saw between Dead of the Night and Ancient Evil, being 98 days. Now, personally, if you ask me where I think this is all going to work out, because we do have a lot of dates, I just don't want to give you a bunch of random Tuesdays really throughout an entire month. These are just every Tuesday inside June and one inside July, so I don't want to leave you off with that. So I don't think they're going to pull a Dead of the Night, Ancient Evil time between them. I mean, 98 days was just way too long, and I do not think they'll do it ever again. But at the same time, I just don't know if we'll see it on June 4th, which is going to be the release of Days of Summer, just because if you do actually have it on June 4th, that would be actually the shortest time between any DLC's releases ever, which, I mean, I'd be all up for, but I just don't see it happening. So I think that we're probably going to see DLC 3 rather on June 11th or June 18th. If I had to put my money on one of them, I'd probably say June 11th. I think June 11th is our most likely release date for DLC 3, at least with the current information we have, because we do know that we don't have a zombies map coming out during Operation Spectre Rising, which is our current one, and because of that, we're probably going to have one during Days of Summer, which of course is going to last, probably going to be another short one, which is probably going to be 34 days also, which would leave somewhere inside June for the most likely release date. And since I don't think we're going to have the shortest release date between two DLCs being June 4th, and also since I don't think that we're going to have to wait 98 days again for a DLC, I just personally think our most likely release date is probably the 11th of June or 18th, but mainly the 11th of June. But of course, that's just speculation. We don't know 100%, but I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. What date are you guys thinking that DLC 3 and the return of the Aether storyline is going to happen? But anyways, that's about for me. If you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead, do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, and especially bell. But I'm going to go and I'll catch you guys next stream, video, or whatever it may be. But laters, guys.